Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is 404 Error Week 3 Finals by FALYNDA, and I'm Saithran. I welcome you all. It's time for match number 1. We're heading towards the map of Erangel, and here we go. The flight path will initiates from the west of Sosnovka military base and finishes off towards the north of Lipovka, favoring the southwest of Erangel. Basically, the south and the east of Erangel, not the west. I'm really sorry. The southeast of Erangel, this flight path is particularly favoring. It's difficult to head towards the north of the map, especially 7E and the other regions are difficult to be accessed. Teams are going to head towards the center. Teams are going to prioritize Pachinki, school apartments, maybe the Rozok areas. And if any team has, you know, stubbornness, they'll might grab vehicles and head towards the north of Erangel, that is 7E, Starber, and Kameshki. The first circle has just initiated, and now the interest of accessing the north decreases because the circle is particularly favoring the southwest of Erangel map, where is right at the center of the circle, and the flight path was not that associated with the first circle. That's the reason why a lot of teams are present inside the circle, and for any immediately gets knocked out. So that's not going to be a good start for 4NE Esports, and they're on the negative side of finish feed. And not just one, but another player they'll be losing back-to-back casualties. And I'm surprised that this fight is coming out from the southern edge. Both these teams are fighting on the southern edge. Gabriel is out of this game. Same goes with Eddie as well. Enzo and Street is the duo surviving. 4 new fears with a, devastating start, as these are the Crown Finals, and the very first game didn't start according to their expectations. So Enzo and Street now just has to survive. But the question is, who gave them these two casualties? Was that Team NB? Absolutely. Vasquez, Leo will be contributing in terms of eliminations. Great start for Team NB, and maybe in the near future, Team NB will try to slam in on the other two remaining players of Team 4NF. VCA as well, fighting off early. So these are the grand finals, ladies and gentlemen. A lot is at stake, but teams not really scared of fighting off in the early stages of the game. As we can see, Team NB. Well, that was a miss happening by 4NF. 4NF, that was not an intentional fight from their side. They just dropped in the southern edge of the map. They were not interested in this fight, but NB pushed them to fight against them. And Street and Enzo is the duo surviving. NB was they're closing in. They know where Team 4NF actually is. They slammed in maybe, or they're just trying to move. 4NF didn't move at all. And NB Esports, they're just trying to take some idea about the presence of players in this particular compound, and they found no clue. Team 4NF didn't move. They're pretty much smart with what they actually want to do, and they didn't move at all. So Team NB Esports will keep on searching for their opponents, but they'll not find any. And 4NF Esports, they just have to just keep holding their footsteps if they don't want to reveal their position, because if they do that, then definitely they're facing elimination, that too in the early stages of the grand finals. And as I said, ladies and gentlemen, a lot is at stake, so getting eliminated early, that's not going to be a good outcome for the players. So you have to survive till the very end. And the very first game, there is a Erangel by the format it is. It decides a lot. It shapes a lot, especially the performance of teams. It shapes the performance of teams, so you cannot afford to get eliminated early. By the way, GRE Esports, they're in an early fight, and that will be against Team Yukamari on Esports. Maybe Staba is the final player surviving, and pretty easily Jimmy was in the final lane of the coffin, and just like that, Yukamari on Esports takes a early exit from this game. And maybe they became the first team to get eliminated, Yukamari on Esports. They just got one elimination. One good thing that they didn't get eliminated empty-handed. They had one elimination, but that's not everything. First game didn't go as per their expectations. Getting eliminated with 0 elims, I guess. There was some other team. Maybe that was a other team who gave GRE a casualty. They're down to 3 players, as we can see. But Faker was eliminated by someone else. So sad news for Yukamiri on Esports that they'll get eliminated from this game with 0 elims. We started off with a total number of 19 teams, ladies and gentlemen. And as much as I believe, all the teams are playing with all their 4 players. So no team has numbers disadvantage. The default numbers advantage. Good start for MGM, two elims. They dropped in the outer skirts of Roseork. And they are a lot away. They are away from the first zone, a huge distance, and they have to travel. And MGM Esports, I guess these are two bonus eliminations for them. MGM Esports is completely focused on rotating. They are hugely separated from the first circle, and it's not 500 meters, ladies and gentlemen, it's almost 1,000 meters. So maybe MGM Esports, they were prioritizing rotation, but just out of luck, they met their opponents. They got two eliminations. That's a very good thing, by the way, if you look at the situation optimistically. MGM Esports has got a terrific start in this game, and many teams are there. They've fetched out eliminations in the early stages. And MGM Esports, as I said, they were just focusing on rotation. They'll start moving towards the circle. And not a lot of teams are present inside the circle if you take a look. We talk about Team 11, they're right at the center of the circle, and one thing is true that Team 11 is trying to play survival oriented. They're not that much interested in terms of getting elimination, spicy squad that is, and they just want to focus on getting placement points. MGM Esports, they're focusing on Team Epic Rising Esports. MGM Esports, they took a stop, they checked out some sprays, but since Epic Esports, they're maintaining a huge distance, MGM Esports didn't try to pull that fire like a rubber band. They just keep on rotating towards the circle, which is good in my opinion. The circle is the real kingmaker, and if MGM Esports, after this explosive start, two eliminations, that too in the initial stages of this Wrangle game, when they were not expecting these two eliminations, they got them. It's kind of a bonus start, and they can enjoy this luxury. Getting off the mark in the early stages of Wrangle is just stage one. And MGM Esports, they are not really known for fighting in the early stages, so this is a big deal definitely for Team MGM. But now the most important factor is to carry forward this game, to enjoy this luxury and to convert this game into a big one, and that will only happen if they just access the center of the circle, because it's easy to predict the shifts of the circle, because circle is now favoring water areas. One Esports, they've headed to his ferry pier. I mean, they dropped in ferry pier, so I'm not at all surprised. But Team Motion, they're very close to Team NB. Papi knocks down Kenzo. Champion is trying to retaliate, but he'll be getting no results. So Motion, the first casualty will be inevitable. They're down to 3. And Team NB is one of the most aggressive teams in this lobby. You cannot underestimate this team at all, because I know this team. I've seen them playing from a very long time. I've been seeing them playing for a very long time, and I know the amount of potential this team actually carries. Well, Papi gets knocked out. Sometimes the problem with Team NB is they get overexcited or overconfident. Champion isn't knocked out yet, and Obscuro has to deal with him. And a good 1v2 by Obscuro. Well, he goes for a 1v3. And within a fraction of a second, Team NB gets rid of Team Motion. Team Motion falls short and gets eliminated on 17th position. So definitely that's going to be a great start for Team NB. And now the worst part is Vasquez will be finding out a MG3 for himself. So close range fights, Team NB can be depending on Vasquez completely, as he has that MG3. The demon with 2 faces. Now they have to just leave it up to Vasquez. He can deal in close range with the deadly weapon. Second circle has just initiated with the northeastern shift. Big Baby Esports, one of the most consistent teams in the lobby. Some tournaments I've seen Big Baby Esports getting so much consistent. I mean, in every game, Big Baby Esports used to fetch a huge amount of value for them. So Big Baby Esports is a high potential team. But they've started over, the casualty king is out of this game. So Big Baby Esports has to continue their journey with just 3 players. And right now they're defensive. But they've moved too much close to team MGM. McGregor is trying to fall back. He was all alone here. It was a 3-1 split maintained by team MGM Esports, and as soon as McGregor sensed it, he will be reuniting with his teammates. But on the sidelines, another team, and that is going to be team 17. While Rogue Esports, definitely they're going to go for that third party, and it's going to bother team Big Baby Esports. Big Baby has to be careful. And that exchange of grenade has already started. Big Baby Esports, well, they didn't connect any grenade. And especially the compound Big Baby Esports has chosen for themselves. Even I'm getting anxious because that compound isn't that good to hold for a team like Big Baby Esports. Especially with 3 players and that to fighting against a team like MGM Esports or Olade with a great retaliation. Exo gets knocked out. The situation is slipping out of Team Big Baby Esports' hands. Bobbin is the final player surviving, and he'll choose to regroup. He'll choose to retreat to his safe areas. This is the point of regrouping with his teammates. They've been flushed out of this game, and Bobbin will be feeling lonely because he's all alone left. And losing one of his tires of his buggy is now a big problem for Bobbin because he cannot travel much. In HTG Esports, they're moving in a close range area, so Bobbin has high probabilities of getting eliminated. Alpha base, they're in nearby areas, and Bobbin is surrounded by 3 teams at the same time. He cannot even fall back. He cannot even move. STG Esports started off early. 4 elims for them. A 2-1 split, by the way. Held by team HTG Esports, Jimmy and Flank, maybe. Flank regroups with his teammates. Elus is in the back end areas. Well, Jimmy and Flank is trying to fight with Team Big Baby Esports. Bobbin's still surviving. Still won't be bothered by the grenade or Flank. And HTG Esports, a smart move by their side, as they know that they are deep inside the circle and there are multiple teams holding this particular area. If they just keep on pushing for that fight, they might get caught off guard by any other team, and that is the last thing STG Esports wants at this point. So it's good that STG Esports just withdrew. They are deprived of 1 elimination, obviously, but getting the winner chicken dinner is more important than getting this 1 extra elimination point. And MGM Esports, they deserve this elimination point more as compared to Team STG Esports. So STG Esports will leave it up to Team MGM. Bobbin connects really well on McGregor. Good splash damage. Nice reflex. Bobbin will be overwhelmed. 20 finishes him off. MGM Esports secures their 5th frag. For a moment, MGM Esports was quite nervous as T got knocked out. And yeah, McGregor was so much low with that grenade connection, but somehow MGM Esports lands back on their feet. Although T is knocked out, but that revival is not that difficult. Third circle is about to begin. So much aggressiveness in the initial stages of this first game. And it's pretty natural. It's not new. Teams fight in the early stages of the first game. And that is what we are seeing right now. VCA, they had the center of the circle, but circle moves for a southeastern shift. Now Team NB, whenever this team has a good position inside the circle, NB doesn't lose. And with good amount of eliminations, they've started off this first game. They have 6 right now, probably the highest in the lobby. And now the circle advantage, which NB has, they should convert this game into a winner-winner chicken dinner. They have all those infinity stones, by the way, to win this first game of the grand finals of 404 Error, Week 3 presented by FALYNDA. I don't think they have any reason to lose this game. MGM Esports keeps on the search and hunt process. 20 is out of this game. MGM Esports. Oh wow, Pape traces down T so well. And look at the distance. Wow, Obscura from a long range finishes out T. MGM Esports didn't expect this at all. McGregor All pressure on him. Luxus, is he present in that same compound? Absolutely. So MGM Esports, now they have to continue this journey with just two players. Two casualties came up out of nowhere. But it's just the part of the game. And since MGM Esports is deep inside the circle, they don't really need to worry. But you never know. If circle keeps on favoring Team MGM, there's a high probability that any team, any 4-player strong team might go for a slammer. Team Rosca. But they are known for their defensive strategy. So they have just one elimination, all their 4 players alive. I'm not at all surprised, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen. I am not at all surprised. The kind of strategy which is being used, which is being utilized by Team RS, I'm not at all surprised. And this strategy suits them because whenever they are passive, whenever they don't go for eliminations, they shine bright like a diamond. So it's good for them. But they are just guarding their position against Team 16. And that is going to be Team 300 Araguaili. And that's a unique name, by the way. But they are guarding the position, defending the position against Araguaili. 300 Araguaili. And it completely depends on how many players Araguaili actually has. If they face casualties, then it shouldn't be a problem for Team Rosca. But since they have all their 4 players alive, it could be concerning for Team Rosca. Because Team 300 Araguaili can snatch that position out of Team Rosca's hands. VCA, they were the only team who were playing with just 3 players in this game. And they've already faced a casualty void out of this game. So, Dudusi and Trust Me is the duo surviving. Not really a need to worry. Soon we'll be seeing 4th circle forming up. And if the circle keeps on favoring Team VCA Esports, they'll have to warm themselves up. Because at any moment, a team can show up inside this compound. So they have to be careful. Team Epic, they're keeping a watch on that same compound. And they're preparing themselves mentally to slam in. STG Esports might backstab them. Team Epic Esports, and they don't want that. And they're sort of confused. They should attack Team STG Esports first or Team VCA. Stage 4 has just initiated southwestern shift by the circle. Team VCA, they're out of the circle. Team Epic Esports, they're not going to waste their time. 404 Arrow, just their first track. Banksy, and Elam. 404 Arrow trying to stop Team Vemos from entering the circle. But the irony is, Team Vemos themselves is present inside the circle. They faced a casualty, and 404 Arrow themselves, they're out of the circle. So opening up their fire against Team Vemos is like digging their own grave. Now Team Vemos is definitely going to stop Team 404 Arrow from entering the circle. They just have to gatekeep the circle. It's not that difficult, to be very honest. It's not that difficult for Team Vemos to stop 404 Arrow from entering the circle, but 404 Arrow might rotate around the circle. Stage 4 it is. Blue zone is going to deal immense amount of damage. The circle is not that far away from 404 Arrow. So it's not that dangerous for them to rotate around the circle. And Team Vemos, their complete focus is on Team 15. Kebab is knocked out. New reaches that room smartly. Dexter on his knees. New was trying to finish his opponent. There was no need to go for the finish so early. Curse gets a chance to revive his teammate. But 998 closes in. Curse takes care of 998. NOP is out of this game on 15th position. Stage 4, this is, ladies and gentlemen, and would you believe that there are 14 teams and 42 players alive at this point? And that is a big number. So many teams alive. The problem with Team Vamos is they've lost too many players, and it's still difficult to revive Kebab, although Curse is not trying to put himself in danger. He's asking his teammate Curse to crawl and get into the room. Team Epic completely dismantled. Zero is the final player remaining. Spicy scored. Checks out a brutal spray. Zero is low. ABS jumps down. Zero has to go for this 1v2. He gets Sasuke. 07 is the final player surviving. He hops in that window. He's trying to connect to the smoke, but Zero is not going to allow him to do so. What a clutch by Zero. Team Epic still stands tall. And maybe Zero will be allowed to revive one of his teammates. So Team Epic is going to continue this journey with 2 players, not just 1. Roscoe Prime watching fights from a distance. Double A's and Kata. Both of them are out of the circle. And the real problem with holding a shack is you lose your vehicles. So by this time, Team Roscoe Prime must have definitely lost all of their vehicles. Entering the circle is not that easy. It's almost impossible to enter the circle. And even if they try to do that, they'll get overwhelmed. Multiple teams are keeping an eye on Team Roscoe Prime. It's practically impossible to enter the circle. Epic Esports, they have no other chance but to fight Team Spicy Squad, I'm sorry. They have no other chance but to fight Team Spicy Squad. 2v3 fight it is. Elise gets a knock. Not just 1 but 2. Papi knocks down towards Junior. But maybe Epic Esports didn't read the finish feed carefully. Kev just goes for the rev. But a natural strategy by Epic Esports just to move in after creating the first opening. Kev inside the smoke. He has switched on to FPP. And one of his opponents, one of his teammates that was who was running in front of him. But Team Epic was in the final lane of the coffin. Spicy Squad gets eliminated on 9th position. 8 teams, 22 players. Stage 5 has begun. Centralized shift by the circle. Team Epic. Still, they are being placed inside the circle. Team Rosca has to move. Not a big distance they have to cover up. Not a big distance they have to travel. A small distance and very easily. They'll be placing themselves inside the circle. Twist takes down Banksy. Acule humbles Twist. Down to 2. Team Roscoe Prime is. And the good thing for Team Aero 404 is they'll be getting an easy frag. Twist will get eliminated because of the blue zone. And by this time, Twist should have submitted. He should have given up. Acule confirms. Eliminates Twist by himself. He won't wait for the blue zone to become active. Luxus continuously trying to tank those grenades of Team Rosca. Snaking in, he also has a ghillie suit. Team Rosca is unable to find out the exact position of Luxus. And there is a possibility that Luxus can pull out a 1v2 against Team Rosca. If that happens, that's going to be a brutal finish for Team Rosca. Tablu plays. He's out of this game, but B2 gets knocked out. Fight is slipping out of Team Rosca's hands. It's just a 1v1 fight. Euro. UU33 gets a knock. Vasquez interferes. He won't be able to save his teammate. Luxus still hiding. Still didn't open up his fire. Still taking a chill pill. Circle moves for a northwestern shift. 404 Aero has a good numbers advantage. They've compromised in terms of eliminations. Didn't participate in fights much. But just kept up the numbers advantage, which is a good strategy. And they have 4 competitors in front of them. If they eliminate all of them, it can be a 10 heliums and a winner chicken dinner for Team Aero 404. Banksy gets his hands on Obscuro. Leo trying to breach the circle. And on their way to the circle, Vasco as well with that MG3 is dealing fire on his opponents. But the problem with Team NB is they had 17 heliums. Luxus is out of this game. Just by surviving, Team MGM will be getting hashtag 3 for them. 5 heliums and a hashtag 3. That's a good way to finish off. But how can we fucking Team NB? 17 eliminations, you gotta be kidding me. Just robbed the entire lobby. And they made it look so easy. I don't think Team NB was thinking about getting winner chicken dinner. They just want more eliminations on their plate. That's what Team NB was playing for. Incredible performance, 17 eliminations in the very first game, and we are yet to witness Rondo. We're yet to witness Miramar. This is just the first game, and since Team NB got eliminated on 4th or 5th position, it adds up to 20 total points for Team NB. That is a massive lead, and only Aero 404 can get close to them if they get their hands on winner chicken dinner. And it's not that easy, by the way. Zero knocks down Pape. Eclipse is kind of low. Banksy has a chance to put down Eclipse, but he has no information about his opponent's HP. The pressure is rising on Aero 404, and they're still not present inside the circle. Zero is. Eclipse isn't. Eclipse is still on his feet, but somehow he finds a chance to heal himself. Problems might rise for Aero 404. Now another player gets knocked out. And I feel like Aero 404, they are just increasing more trouble for them. Banksy facing the damage of the blue 1v1 against Zero, and he gets knocked out. And what? Team Eclipse converts this fight and gets a fabulous winner chicken dinner for them. Now, can you believe that? A 2v4 clutch in the end circle. This is one of those rare visuals. But it has been done. And I'm surprised. How did Team Eclipse pull out this chaffer? What a fight. And what a play. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all guys have enjoyed. And if yes, make sure to hit the like and the subscribe button. We'll be taking a short break. And we will be right back in match number 2. Till then, like, subscribe. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The motion heading towards Picado first circle has his form favoring the northeast of Miramar. So many teams have headed towards Picado. This is a very out of the box strategy by all those teams who are in the lower stages of the points table. Maybe teams want to just cover up and place themselves in the top two by getting a large amount of eliminations from just one single game. The 4-4 era, they had a terrific last game, not in terms of eliminations, but definitely in terms of placement points. MGM Esports will keep on bothering Team 4-4 era, but it's difficult for them to breach their property. Red buildings, far away from MGM. Team Motion can take advantage of the situation. Akale is quite separated from his teammates. Well, his priority is to cut off the angle of Team Motion from breaching the red buildings. 2 aliens, by the way, for Team Motion. Who have they given casualties? That is the question now. Have they eliminated any team? 2 teams are already out of this game, Team AP and Team RS. It's a surprise that Team Rosca got eliminated early. 1 alien for Papi. That means there was another team in Picado. That was Team AP, and they got eliminated early. 404 Aero and MTN shaking hands on eliminating Team AP. Priorities are straight. First, 404 Aero wants to attack Team MGM. And this sort of a huge gamble for Team 404 Aero because they have a terrific position in the points table. If they get eliminated early, then it'll all depend on the Rondo. If they fail in Rondo as well, they can lose the championship. Banksy gets out and gets a 1v2. Terrific short connection by Banksy with a accuracy as well. A AR, a UMP 45 1v2, SMG 1v2, I must say. Banksy, with a superb job, keeps up the hopes of his teammates alive, his team alive. And MGM is paralyzed. MGM will be forced to think, will be forced to hold back. TN20, they desperately want to revive their teammate, but it's not possible at all. Lux is out of this game. MGM is fading fast. Team Motion closing in for a third party. And maybe Team MGM wants to just let 404 fight with Team Motion, and whoever is vulnerable, they'll try to attack them. Papi gets knocked out. Will be flushed out immediately. That grenade was right on target. And MGM, things are moving as per their expectations. Their opponents are bleeding. Their opponents are getting eliminated continuously. And it's not a huge difference. Team MGM, they're surviving with just 2 players, and their opponent with 3. So it's just 1 player disadvantage which they've got. But 404 Aero wants to breach that 4-story building. Ryuga moves ahead. Gets no support from his teammates. I don't know if Team 404 Aero, they're even communicating this, because this is unacceptable. Ryuga gets no cover from Akale and Banksy. He should have gotten. 404 Aero is so much excited. Banksy gets knocked out and gets flushed out immediately. Akale can help out his teammates, and 404 Aero gets overwhelmed between 2 teams, Motion and MGM shaking hands, eliminating a mega force. 404 Aero on 17th position. And that is heartbreaking for 404 Aero. They had a terrific last game. I'll repeat it again. They made it to the top 3. I acknowledge the fact that they had less eliminations. 20 couldn't connect his bomb shotgun, but this time he connects. 20 on his knees. T needs to step up. I guess that's the 1v1 left. T got Kendo, and T takes down the final player as well. MGM survives in Conquest Picado. T took down Champion as well. And what a play by Team MGN. 5 elims. T doing most of the job. Going for a clutch. And they need to collect vehicles as soon as possible. And they need to start moving towards the circle. But the circle is not that far away from Team MGM. STG down to 1. Fighters against Team 1. Jimmy with a pump shotgun. Never ever ever underestimate a player. Whoever has a pump shotgun, never ever ever underestimate that player. Jimmy had a pump shotgun. Definitely Team 1 for All underestimated him. Jimmy will be taken down, but there was no need to face a casualty. 1 for All to go on. He underestimated his opponent. He'll pay the price. And 1 for All esports will be getting 5 eliminations at the cost of 1 casualty. And that's a good deal. I don't think 1 for All esports will be bothered by this 1 casualty which they've faced. So it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Sage 2 has just initiated. Circle moves for a southwestern shift. Ikumiro on esports is in San Martin. ARG has to move. They're miles away from the circle. NB esports, they had got 17 eliminations, and they also finished in the top 8, so they had got good amount of placement points as well. And maybe Team NB started off with getting an early elimination. They have won. Spicy Squad is currently on a back foot. And this is a, as usual, start for Team NB. They don't hold themselves back. And I can say with confidence that Team NB is the only team in this lobby who completely focus on getting eliminations for them. But one of the players of Team Spicy Squad made a terrible mistake, knocking himself down with a Molotov. But Team NB couldn't capitalize. They didn't read the finish feed carefully. So it's not going to benefit Team NB at all. Good reset for Spicy Squad. Team 17 right in the back in areas. Valorant Esports. And at any moment they can show up in the same compound. NB Esports, they have to be very much careful if they want to win this fight. They have to lose as less players as possible. That's Team VCA Dudusi with the opening created. Skiro will be stabbed in his back. Vasquez gets knocked out too. And what? What? No way. Team NB down to just 1 player. They fumbled so bad. 1v2 left for Leo. And one of the players of Spicy Squad is so much low, just barely surviving in 10 HPs. Maybe Leo can go for a clutch. Can he pull off a miracle? Dwarves is still knocked out. VCA still didn't close in. Leo smartly using the cover, but even he won't survive. And Spicy Squad celebrates after eliminating Team NB. And they've conquered a mega force. Eliminating Team NB on 13th position. That is a massive deal for Team Spicy Squad. Valorant Esports didn't show up. And I am surprised. Even after creating an opening and the soft finish feed moving so much. It was a good closure for Valorant Esports to show up in this compound and go for a third party. But I don't know what was stopping them from doing that. Spicy Squad remains unfazed. Makes it to the top 12. And just 12 teams and 39 players alive. A lot of teams have been eliminated in the early stages. NOP still in El Pozo. VCA has to be careful. Because Valorant Esports, they're surrounded by many teams. Spicy Squad didn't have a really good last game. Spicy Squad is prioritizing eliminations. 5 they already have. If things goes out for Valorant Esports, Spicy Squad can show up in this compound through a third party. So Valorant Esports has to be careful. And maybe Spicy Squad is looking for revenge. Valorant didn't take much risk. They just tried to fetch a profit for themselves from a range. Things didn't turn out to be well. And his team one tap Romania in the back end areas. They've heard the gunshots. One tap Romania thinks that Valeric Eastwood somehow will fight Team Spicy squad. Valeric Eastwood is not ready for that. And maybe one tap Romania will keep up the distance. But this is a team filled with potential. Valeric Eastwood I'm talking about. This is a good team, and I've seen them performing in few tournaments. They didn't start off really well in the grand finals or 4-4 Aero finals. But it's fine. First game is kind of a warm-up. And it's time for Valeric Eastwood to bounce back and make a comeback. Stage 3 has just initiated, and it's going to be an Eastern shift by the circle. 39 teams, 39 players and 12 teams will be heading towards Stage 3 of Miramar. Ikimiri on East Coast. What a glow up! Ikimiri on East was going to perform well in the last game. But this is how you try to bounce back. Still no casualty, but they will be pressurized because they have no eliminations. Still no good start, I must say, for Yukimura on East Coast. They'll keep on hanging in. They're just trying to get back their momentum, their form. MGM East Coast can be an easy target. There's two players MGM East Coast has. Vehicle Racing definitely was not on point. He trying to square up on Saba, but one good thing that Saba has a really good game awareness. He knows what is really going around him, and that was a sixth sense move by Saba. He knew that one of the players of Team MGM East would try to stab him in his back, and that was an experience which we saw. T gets Moza. MGM Esports fighting their own battles. He will get over. And one good thing is that he got the confirmations of 6 eliminations for Team MGM Esports. 20 was about to get eliminated. And that was a very close call. Uh-oh! Barabatsi stabs him in his back. He was sitting in the window. And that was unlucky. MGM Esports gets eliminated on 12th position. Every game they're getting eliminations, but not placement points. So they need to figure out what's really going wrong with them. Ikimiri on East was finally there off the mark. First seed coming in. One Esports against one Tap Romania. One Tap Romania will remain on the positive side of finish feed. Ikimiri on East was to third party. They'll be adding in more frags. Now they'll be straight away jumping on to 5 eliminations. That is very quick. Just now we saw them a few seconds ago. They had just 1 elimination, but within a fraction of a second, straight away they'll be jumping on to 5. Ikimiri on Esports, they are very serious about this Miramar. They don't want to leave any room for doubt in the minds of their opponents. Ikimiri on Esports is back in business, ladies and gentlemen. Stage 4 has just initiated. Circle moves for a northern shift. Crew still relays inside the circle. ARG And Team Spicy Squad, just two teams inside the circle. Ikumiri on Esports with a quick decision making. He might breeze the circle from the southwest. Easy rotation that will be for Yukumiro on Esports, and they can stop all these teams that are present in the south that are out of the circle, especially if you talk about Team Epic Esports, Vamos, One Tap Romania. All these teams can be stopped by Yukumiro on Esports from entering the circle. If RSP wants to enter the circle, Roscoe Prime, they have to move from all the way. They have to breeze the circle from the north. They have to move all the way from the north of the circle. Teams are playing so much aggressively. Vamos, they're into a fight against One Tap Romania. Curse picks up the first guy. Babino gets knocked out too. One Tap Romania continuously they're losing their players. Caragon is barely surviving in 10 HPs. He'll be getting an extra life. Nuru had a stroke in his hands. He connects really well again. And it seems like Caragon is the final player surviving, and he'll get eliminated. And that's it. One Tap Romania gets eliminated on 8th position. Team Vamos will be getting placement points along with elimination points in this Miramar game. 700 meters they're away from the circle. Roscoe Prime, as usual, passive strategy from their side, completely focusing on getting more and more placement points for themselves, but they should think about getting more eliminations on their plate, since the whole lobby is playing so much aggressively. There's one team who is still finishless, and that will be Roscoe Prime. And in the coming time, I feel like Team Roscoe Prime should change their strategy, because this passiveness is not going to help them out in a long-term process. For NFA Esports, facing two early casualties, it was important for them to play passively. They had no other option left, by the way, but to play passive. And I won't blame them. For NFA Esports, they have a crucial position on points table. They need to play passively. Southeastern shift by the circle. Team Vamos just runs into Team Yukumirion Esports, and it is fatal for Yukumirion. But what a statement made by Yukumirion Esports. They'll be defending the compound so well. From east, he's out. Well, Vamos Kebab gets a frag. Kebab is out, but even Kebab barely surviving on 10 HP. Yukumirion Esports still has the control in this fight. Niru jumps down. He's surrounded by opponents. Spicy Squad going for the third party shots. Curse gets knocked out. And it's chaotic for Vamos to survive. Nuru is on his knees. Presley climbs up, takes down Nuru. Vamos Kebab will get eliminated. Yukumirion Esports is unstoppable, ladies and gentlemen. Yukumirion Esports is doing such a fantastic job. 9 eliminations they have, and this is how you pull out a comeback. Team NB had 17 eliminations in the last game, and probably they were the head of the table by now. But Yukumirion Esports with a massive winner chicken dinner can ruin things for Team NB, definitely. Because 17 eliminations with just 4-5 placement points. It will just take Team NB hardly up to 21 to 22 points. They had nothing in this game. So a winner chicken dinner with double-digit eliminations. That might be a good sign of comeback by Yukumirion Esports. Eastern shift by the circle. Roscoe Prime is going to enter the circle to the east. Zero is still out, along with his teammate Capuzino. And where is Capuzino at this point? He's miles away from his teammates, and he'll be put to sleep. Team ARG finds him off guard. Roscoe Prime eliminates 4NF. 5 teams and just 14 players alive. I didn't expect that this Miramar would be so much chaotic. I didn't expect that this Miramar would end up so early. Teams have gone absolutely nuts. No team is trying to hold back. No team is trying to play passively. All teams just want eliminations. Spicy scored decent performance, 5 eliminations. Saka moves away from them, and this is a concern. Double Lace is out. Seiko gets knocked out because of the blue zone, and this could be a strategic win for many teams. Because if a team like Rosca Prime gets eliminated, your chance of winning the games are high. Because Team Rosca Prime, if they survive till the very end stages, their probabilities of converting the game into a winner-winner chicken dinners are way more higher as compared to all these teams present right now. So you have to stop Team Rosca Prime as soon as possible if you want to get a winner-winner chicken dinner. Because if it's a head-to-head fight for the winner-winner chicken dinner in the final stage, you are losing fight against RSP. So if you're succeeding in eliminating this team early, it's a big achievement. And that job could be done by Team Spicy Squad. Because they are the team closest to RSP. Still RSP needs to travel. Epic Zero takes down Kata. And by this time, RSP has become the center of attraction. And Zero gets 2 maybe. And he's moving in. Completely relying on his reflexes. Albay shuts down Zero. Team Epic Esports gets eliminated on 5th position. More placement points for Yukimura on Esports. They'll be happy with this performance, I believe. TikTok won't get the rev. Gets knocked out because of the blue zone. Paparazzi has to move. Seiko gets finished. Rosca Prime is fading off. They're fading off fast. Albi is the final player surviving, and it's just a matter of few seconds. Yukimura on Esports is going to support him. Yeah. Paparazzi sees him in a wide open area lying on the ground. Rosca Prime gets eliminated on 4th position. Circa kept on ditching them. And there's nothing Rosca Prime could do about that. Just good prediction they needed, but your prediction don't go well always. Rosca Prime had a hard time in this Miramar game, and it completely depends on the fun. On the 3rd Rondo game, if they don't perform well in the Rondo, they'll have to play Rango for just formalities. Spicy squad versus Yukimura versus ARG. Spicy Scott is not inside the circle. Yukimura on Esports takes advantage of the situation. Spicy Scott is gonna fight with ARG. There's no other option left. ARG will keep on bothering Spicy Scott with those nasty grenades. Sandrick won't connect. He'll have to use his bullets. He kept on saving them till now. Finally, Su Zhao gets knocked out. And this whole situation benefits... Oh my goodness, Sandrick! How on earth did he knock down Grizzly? But I was saying that this whole situation, this whole scenario favors Yukimura on Esports. B74 ruins Team Spicy Squad. He's relying his reflexes again. And he's going to deny that point to Yukimura on Esports. It is all over. Yukimura on Esports wins this game, but they won't be getting those extra elimination points. And that's the end of match number 2. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and if yes, make sure to hit that like and the subscribe button. We need a short break, ladies and gentlemen, and right after the break, we'll be starting off with Rondo. Till then, stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for match number 3. We're heading towards the map of Rondo. The action has already begun, and teams are continuously fighting. The first circle is favoring the complete east of Rondo. 4NF Esports, they're still hanging in by a thread. Just one eliminations they've got. One good thing that maybe they haven't lost their players in the fighting zone of Rondos. Still, all their 3 players is present in New York's factory. If that's the case, if that's the scenario, it's a good news for 4NF Esports. Because this is their map of comeback. This is their moment of doing a comeback. MGM Esports, by the way, 6 eliminations for them. They've crossed the average elimination mark. And whatever elimination they get here on with, it's going to be like a bonus elimination for them. Presley moves ahead, goes for a 1v2. Ikumiri on Esports are eliminated from this game, I'm afraid. VCA has been eliminated. Ikumiri on Esports, they're still hanging in. Ikumiri on Esports conquers. MTN is out too. So it's surprising that 2 teams have been eliminated in the very early stages of this Rondo game. And it's very rare to see teams getting eliminated this early in Rondo. Since you have a recall with you, now it's not that easy to get eliminated early. But, yep, 2 teams have been eliminated. Enzo and Eddie, both of them are hugely separated for error. Last game was very much miserable for them. This game as well, just 2 eliminations they've secured. But somehow Papi and Acule is still living. Completely depends on Acule and Papi. The fortune of 4-4 Aero depends on Acule and Papi. If these 2 players rock, somehow Aero 404 can climb up on the points table, or else they're losing this championship. Master is still knocked out. He's feeding, most of that who was knocked out, and he was feeding all the information to his teammates. None of his teammates are alive in this particular area. Maybe he was just waiting for his teammate to get the access of record tower, and then he gave up. 3 elims for 404 era. Ikumiri on Esports on the edges. One good thing that Ikumiri on Esports tried to stay on the edge. Because when you get at the center of New York's factory, you get overwhelmed. A lot of teams tries to attack you. Ikumiri on Esports, one good thing that they fought just one team at the same time. One team at one time. Team NB, just 3 elims. ARG is trying to step in their way. EMP Zone steps into. Roscoe Prime, how many eliminations did they manage to get? Just 1? Kata and Albi. RS33 gets started for an Enzo gets knocked out. Uh-oh, Enzo immediately sees his end. And it's just Eddie now for 4NF Esports. 4NF Esports has had a terrible day. First game was pretty average. Second game wasn't that great. Third game now. And 4NF Esports still couldn't cope up on points table. Saba in front of Eddie. And the irony is, Eddie is on the rooftop of the main New York's factory, maybe. No, he's in the outer skirts, not on the rooftop of the main New York's factory. He's in test track at this point. But he can be stabbed in his back. But since their opponent right underneath him, he cannot even move down. Epic Esports will be showing up a bit late. We'll be accessing the test track. 0. Tries to knock down Bubban with his grenade. Finds no connections. Steps behind. Ikumiri on Esports. Their recall phase is probably over by now. Yup. Ikumirion's recall phase gets over. Aero 404 is just left with their one final player in the recall phase. Acule somehow keeps the hopes alive of his team. The question is, till when? How long can he survive? Albi finishes. gets finished by a commander. And that is sad news for his team. Actually, gets knocked out by MVP for a fair. Just could have had 3 eliminations for them in the recall phase of Rondo. Still not enough if they want to pull out a monumental comeback on the points table. They need to work harder. They need to find more eliminations for them. Stage 2 has begun. And it's a basic centralized shift by the Cirque, and New York's factory is still on the western edge. Team Vamos, New View, tried his very best, but he couldn't get more elims. Epic Esports, one of their fighters, Capozino, is out. Zero against Bubban, and Zero gets knocked out too. Bubban barely surviving in .HP. He's barely surviving on 1 HP. That was a very close score. A Big Baby Esports is filled with potential. This is nothing new. 3 teams have been eliminated from this game. And 4NF Esports might become the 4th team. Street, just in that corner, holding silently. But Team 5 by now must have understood the setup of Street. Yup! 4NF Esports will get eliminated by Team Rosca on 16th position. And as I said, 4NF Esports will become the 4th team to get eliminated from Rondo. What a game it has been. Teams played so much aggressively, just like the first Oranga game. In Miramar as well, we saw the end of the game by stage 7. That doesn't regularly happen. It rarely happens that the game finishes by stage 7. That indicates that how much aggressively these teams are actually playing. But since Rondo has recall, so it takes more time for the game to get ended. But one thing is true, all these teams are running behind eliminations. Maybe they don't really care about winning or losing, but whichever team gets more eliminations on their plate is eventually the team farming most amount of aura for themselves. And that's the way maybe the winner is decided. That's the way how you win respect, by becoming the most dominant team in the lobby. To go to war, he's trying to find a recall beacon so that he can bring his teammates back into this game. It's difficult for him to search out for recall beacon in such an intense lobby. Teams have already acquired a circle. It's difficult to find out a recall beacon inside the circle, but if he steps out of the circle, he can definitely find one for himself. But if he's trying to look for one inside, that's not possible. He's showing the power with MGM. Smashes him. 10 eliminations for Team MGM. And this is a perfect opportunity for MGM. A perfect build-up to pull out a comeback. Why can't they? They can. They just have to. McGregor, maybe he's permanently eliminated from this game. That's why Team MGM is not even trying to bring back McGregor into this game. Big Baby Esports has already caught flank off guard. King is continuously moving. Akule is out. Team Epic eliminates him. 404 error. Puts down Saba. One good thing that Big Baby Esports want to be over pushing in that fight against Team STG Esports. Faker gets knocked out now. This is a perfect opportunity for Big Baby Esports to overpush in this fight against Team STG Esports. King puts down Faker. 4v2 fight it is. STG has been completely overwhelmed. Now all eyes on stage 4. Big Baby Esports is right at the center. Circle is not going to bother them. But they have to wrap up this fight as soon as possible so that they can clear out the back. MGM might become a problem. Epic might become a problem. 404 Error might become a problem. So they have to deal with all these teams. And if they want to do that, they have to be alert. They have to focus on their backs. ARG Esports inside the blue zone gets 8 eliminations. Eliminates Team NB. They'll be eliminating a mammoth-like team. Team NB, just in the first game, they had got 17 eliminations. After that, they did absolutely nothing. And they remind me of E Arena. I mean, if you guys are watching PUBG Mobile World Cup, we all remember how E Arena dominated in the first round of game. 39 total points. 29 eliminations and a winner chicken dinner. Record-breaking that was. But they still couldn't qualify for the grand finals. And there's the same thing which has happened with Team NB. Just in the first game, they gave their everything. And after that, they kept on getting overwhelmed. Maybe they got overconfident. That could be the scenario. But the problem for their competitors is Team NB kept on getting average points in each and every game in terms of elimination. So in the last game as well, if Team NB manages to get their hands on winner chicken, then there's still a possibility that they can end up in the top 2. So you cannot underestimate Team NB. And as much as I know them, they are going to focus on eliminations in the final game as well. They're not scared of winning or losing. That's the strength of Team NB. They are not influenced by the fear of losing at all. Just 10 teams and 31 players remaining. And teams are not even going passive. Just few teams, especially those who are facing numbers disadvantage. MGM Esports has to rotate. They'll try to settle down on the western edge of the circle. And if they're not able to do that, they'll try to move in deep and they'll fight with Team MGM. That is the possibility. But the kind of rotation is being executed by Team MGM. I feel like they're going to need the team of Rosca Prime. Lucius with a great effort. But that's not going to make it worthy. 20 is low. Lucius barely surviving in 10 HP. He's underwater. He cannot fire. Albi gets knocked out. He had a MG3. Uh-oh, T gets caught by the grenade of Qatar. But Rosca Prime will get eliminated. And MGM survives. But ARG is a huge problem for Team MGM. B74 is trying to loot. He doesn't have enough amount of resources to execute a fight against Team MGM. Will he be able to find enough amount of healings? Just to survive, just to sustain this blue zone. Stage 5 it is. Blue zone is more attacking, more explosive. And unfortunately, MGM will get eliminated. Big Baby runs into Epic. Smart move by Big Baby Esports. They know Team Epic was vulnerable and this was a crucial position. 12 eliminations for Big Baby Esports. And this will surely become the map of comeback for Big Baby. 12 eliminations. They carry themselves to top 6. 2 points of placement makes it 14. But not just this game, they have to carry forward this performance in match number 4 as well, in the final Erangel game. Because with just one good performance, you cannot become the champions. You need back-to-back 2. So the next game is as crucial as this one. It's like a do-or-die situation for Big Baby Esports. They cannot afford to have even one bad game at this point, because it's just 4 games in Week 3 finals of 404 era presented by FALYNDA. Every game matters. First 2 games were blunders. made by Team 404 Error. Now these games are like two or die. Even one mistake. And I'm talking about Big Baby Esports, I'm really sorry. Not 404 Error, but Big Baby Esports. These two games are like two or die situation. If Big Baby Esports consistently performs in these two remaining games, there is still a ray of hope that Big Baby Esports might climb up and get at least a podium finish for themselves, which will bring in a huge amount of positiveness for this team. NOP is out. Ovalade makes no mistake to put in the final nail in the coffin, and that will take Ovalade off the mark too. Big Baby Esports is now out of the circle. Circle moves into the favor of Team RS. And the team which is in the most amount of problems is Team Spicy Squad. The most amount of problems have been rose up for Team Spicy Squad. It's difficult for them to move. They have to find Team Big Baby Esports. And if somehow they manage to give casualties to Big Baby Esports, it will be beneficial for Team Rosca. Rosca is trying to create the margin of offense, line of offense inside the circle. And very smartly, they'll gatekeep the circle of Spicy Squad. 33 gets the confirmation of Boss Jr. Ovalade gave his very best to steal that 1 point, but he couldn't do that. In typical survival game by Team Rosca, they have 9 eliminations, but in Rondo, it's not a big number. If this was Irango or Miramar, it could have been a big number, but in Rondo, this is a pretty average score in terms of eliminations. Spicy Squad loses more players. Shaggy knocks down Ovalade. This time it's Big Baby Esports will be facing their first casualty, and that will be Bubban. Spicy Squad still hanging in with 2 players. No eliminations. You gotta be kidding me, Spicy Squad. This is embarrassing. This is bad and this is brutal. Just 1 eliminations they have. Ovalade gets knocked out. U33. Good thing that is Team Rosca is taking care of both their opponents. Big Baby Esports and Spicy Squad both at the same time will be hammered by Team Rosca. Fist moves in. Definitely Team Rosca wants more eliminations. King gets knocked out. Gets finished immediately. Big Baby Esports is somehow trying to fight back. Exo in flying like a Superman. Twist won't reveal his body much. Exo knocks down himself. And that's a gift for Twist. Pixel Peak. He takes down the final player, Ovalade. Team RS won't get an extra frag. Big Baby Esports gets overwhelmed and gets eliminated on 3rd position. I thought that would have been... I thought that would be Team Spicy Squad getting eliminated on 3rd position. But instead, Big Baby Esports will be making their way to the lobby. And they'll be getting eliminated on 3rd position. Spicy Squad still trying to fetch out value. And this might be the worst performance by a team in Rondo. 0 eliminations, making it to the top 2. Imagine if Spicy Squad somehow gets a winner-winner chicken dinner with 0 eliminations. That will be record making. But in Rondo, when you have recalls, still you're not able to get eliminations for yourself. Still stage 7. Twist gets knocked out. And yeah, in this game, Spicy Squad is not gonna take exit with 0 elims. They'll have at least 1, but they can have 3 more if they somehow manage to stop Team Rosca from getting this job done. Stage 8 has just formed. Just 1 more circle and it will be dead zone interfering. And Team Rosca doesn't afford to go for a heal battle. They don't have enough amount of first aid. Same goes with Spicy Squad as well. But you could just get 2 more elimination points. And Team Rosca should be focusing on that. Hesitation. Peak hesitation by Team Rosca. They want eliminations, but they don't want to lose winner chicken at the same time. Maybe U33 can try to gamble. Tries to go for evens. This Rosca has vehicles to breach the set of Team spicy squad. That is also a question. Kev gets knocked out. U33 gets knocked out and trade. It's a 1v2. And maybe spicy squad. Now, they'll fall short. It is all over. Team Rosca. 14 eliminations. And a winner chicken dinner. Positivity for Team Rosca. Match 3 has ended. We'll be taking a short break. And we'll be right back with match number 4. And that is going to be a wrangle. Till then, ladies and gentlemen, just stay tuned. We'll be right back. Alright, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Time for match number 4, the main event of the evening, the final game, match number 4 of 404 Aero Week 3 finals presented by FALYNDA. It's time for match number 4, it's Erangel time, and here we go. Flight path initiates from the west of shooting range and is finishing off towards the south of Lipovka. So a bunch of teams are heading towards the Georgiapol Northern City or the Western City. Team NB will keep on gliding, and it seems like they are dropping in the western part of Georgiapol Northern City. And they're going to end up in a drop clash with Team Roska. That will be exciting to see. The fights taking place in the Northern City take a lot of time to get finished. Has the fight begin? Is the question. Obito gets knocked out, and the fight has already begun. Even Leo is out of this game. So Team NB will be losing a player, and they'll be getting no frags. That is a sad news for Team NB. Obito gets the rev. He has the weapon. He just has a VSS. Is there any rule for third party happening? Is there any team present on this particular drop location? If there's not, then Team NB can definitely take their time. Papa gets knocked out. Vasquez, Obscurus, the two are surviving. One good thing that at Obscuro, he has 3 grenades. And somehow if he manages to knock down a player of Team RS, that can create a huge pressure on Team RS. Twist and Obito are gonna get caught in that same grenade. But somehow, Twist manages to dodge, manages to tank that grenade, and he's barely surviving on 10 HPs. The problem with Team RS is they don't have enough amount of healings. Both these teams are going to fight with bare minimum loot. Shaggy is so much low. Twist barely surviving on 10 HPs. Obito is surviving on 10 HPs. Just one spray is enough to knock these 3 gentlemen down. Even UU-33 doesn't have enough amount of HP. Team RS isn't secure about their survival. And Aero 404 must have heard the gunshots coming in from the range. What if Team Aero 404 shows up? Both these teams will get swept off by Aero 404. And that is a golden opportunity for Aero 404 to get at least 5 eliminations for themselves in this fight through a third party. NB slows down the pace. Papi is being watched by RSUU-33. Her circle is favoring the northwest. That is good news for Team Roska and NB. But these teams are going to take their time to take this fight to a whole other level. STG in the farm strip, and they're surrounded by Yukimura on esports. Paparazzi is out. So Yukimura on esports, they'll continue with 3 players. 3-3 fight, STG esports. It's kind of an achievement for them, because they were outnumbered. If Paparazzi had been in, they would have been outnumbered. STG could have been outnumbered if Paparazzi was in this particular area, but he'll get knocked out by drowning. And one thing is true, that he is not in farm. Paparazzi will get eliminated. It's a 3v3 fight left. Shaggy gets knocked out. Twist, all eyes on him. 4 elims will be secured by Team RS. Early elimination for Team NB. So just first game, Team NB performed well, and after that they were just miserable. Team NB gets eliminated on 17th position, and we are left with 16 teams and 62 players. STG Esports has started their battle with Team Yukimura. Both the teams maintaining the distance for now. Blue Zone has started closing in. Spicy Squad had a terrible last game, although they got 2-3 eliminations. They made it to the top 2. They didn't have 2-3 eliminations. They just made it to the top 2. I guess they had just 1. And yeah, getting 1 elimination in Rondo is a disrespect in itself. Definitely Team Spicy Squad must not be satisfied with the last performance they showcased in Rondo. They have to do better in this final game. They're not in contention, surely, but one game with big amount of eliminations can bring them back in contention. But Team MGM won't allow them to do so. Two of the players of Spicy Squad have been knocked out. Toss Jr. and Su Zhao is the duo remaining. And they're retreating towards the safe areas. A three-wheeler, not a good option to rotate. They need to find a different vehicle out. Roscoe Prime against Motion. And what a grand finals it has been. So many OG moments we've seen. And Big Baby Esports, my bet was on them, but Big Baby Esports couldn't play up to the expectations. So many surprising things throughout the tournament, and now we're in the final game. At least in this last game, can Big Baby Esports seal the deal at least? Can get a winner chicken and a positive finish from Roscoe Week 3 Finals presented by... From Aero 404 Week 3 Finals presented by FALYNDA. Albay gets a frag. Cyrex is the final player surviving, and it seems like he needs to run away. He needs to head towards the safe areas. One Esports against AP CR7 is knocked out. Sasuke Arman. Two is surviving. One Esports gets the confirmation quickly. 3 elims for One Esports. And Arman is the final player surviving. They just have to deal with one player. One final player. But maybe Arman will just hold on his fire. NOP looked so much absent today. They just kept on becoming free frags for their opponent. And this is not the kind of gameplay they wanted to showcase. Bravo Moxie, 99B. Such a miserable day for Team NOP. And they're in the lower stages of the points table. They have to improve. Definitely, they have to improve. It's not going to work out with this sort of gameplay, with this sort of intent. They have to change things. They have to change their strategy. If they want to see results for themselves in the near future, they need a new strategy. They need to refine their skills. A lot of things went wrong in this finals. Aero 404 Week 3 presented by FALYNDA. I hope they notice their weak spots, their weaknesses, and they improve it. Team Memos gets 2 frags. Stage 1 is about to close in. Roscoe Prime gets surrounded by multiple teams. Big Baby Esports shows up too. Albay just keeps on holding his position. It's a small area he has, and the whole squad hours has been filled up with utilities. Team 1, they have low ground disadvantage. And they're fighting Team HTG. So many teams. This one squad house has become a hot property. Big Baby Esports as well. King is the solo man standing. And Albi will be finished out by Paragon of Team 1. Big Baby Esports still trying to survive. Can King give us a one final OG moment? One nasty blow can he land on Team 1? STG Esports is all set to breach in for a third party. King has a DBS, and whenever you have a shotgun, you get a boom to clutch. Keep on repositioning himself. Even needs to tank the grenades of Team STG Esports coming in. Obviously, that panic room is going to be the first target of Team STG. Put a grenade into. Elias knocks down Beno. King gets 1. Finishes 1. Beno will be finished 2. King gets 2 frags. and one Esports fell on their face. Carragon, final man surviving. He's inside the three-story building. HTG Esports squaring up right underneath him. One Esports managed to get 9 eliminations in this final game. So that's a good statement made by Team One Esports. Good impression in the final game. But that is not going to carry them up to hashtag 1 or the top 3. And now with just one last player, they won't be even getting placement points from this final Wrangle game. So eliminations is everything they've got. MGM versus Trap East of Team Vemos. Trap East gets knocked out, gets caught off guard. MGM Esports, their priorities are straight. They need eliminations on their plate. That's the only way they're going to make it to the top 3. There's no point of playing for hashtag 4 or hashtag 5. They need to go for a podium finish. Nubu is the final player surviving for Team Vermors. MGM is not going to hold back. Nubu couldn't even connect the grenade, and pressure is clearly... Pressure can be clearly seen on his face. MGM Esports has a huge numbers advantage over Team Vermors. Trying to fill up the squad house with grenades. Vermors jumps. Vermors Nubu jumps, connects S12 really well. But even Nubu is tremendously low. And he's now trying to chase out his opponent. Gets McGregor! And that is brilliant. Gets the confirmation. But D flushes him out. But one good thing, the Nubu finishes McGregor, and MGM Esports will be given a casualty. There's 8 teams and 24 players remaining. MGM Esports will keep on the search and hunt. King still inside the squad house. Team Epic on the other side eliminates ARG's All-Star. And maybe that was a long-range spray done by Team Epic. And one of the players have closed in. Zero is out. That's tit for tat. ARG retaliates, takes the revenge. 3 aliens for ARG. And Team Epic, if they want to get rid of the ARG, they need to completely close in and they need to go for a full-fledged war. Stealing shots from a range, it's not going to work out. Sandrick gets knocked down. That's a brilliant strategy. Elise with a good flank angle. But still, Epic Esports didn't choose to close in. King will be wiped out. Big Baby Esports gets eliminated on 8th position. So the whole day has been miserable for Big Baby Esports. The whole freaking day, Big Baby Esports could do nothing. And they've learned so much from Aero 404 Week 3 Finals presented by FALYNDA. And whatever errors they've made, whatever mistakes they've made, they're going to learn from that. And it's better if they don't repeat those mistakes in the upcoming future, or upcoming tournaments. Yeah, what a day it has been. Amazing. And it's just stage 2, ladies and gentlemen. We are left with just 7 teams and 21 players. The lobby is so much aggressive in the final game. The players go absolutely nuts. They keep on fighting. The priority is eliminations. The priority is to finish in the top 3. And if you have to play aggressively, you'll play aggressively. It doesn't really matter. And that is what is being done by players and teams. Third circle, Eastern Shift. MGM is in the north. 404 Error in the southwest. And they've slowed down the pace of the game. NOP out of the circle. Might meet with Team RS. They're outnumbered while fighting against Team RS. A lot of disadvantage. Best thing would be 99B shouldn't peak. Because if he does that, he's definitely going to get knocked out. Because multiple players are going to target him. And Team NOP already doesn't have enough numbers to fight against Team RS. They don't have enough sources or resources to fight against Team RS. But NOP doesn't have anything left to fight for. They're already in the lower stages of the points table. Even one big game is not going to do anything for Team NOP. So they should just have fun. They should just take a chill player. Yeah, they should just have fun. That's it. Well, 99B dealt an intense burst. Got a really good amount of damage for himself. RS might try to sneak out. They'll get their vehicles and they'll soon start moving. Yeah, 99B connects again. RS very smartly increases the distance. 99B cannot connect now. Good thing to see, NOP, they were able to create pressure on RS. Or this is just a strategic loss for Team NOP. RS changes the direction and straight away slams in on NOP, which they were not at all expecting. But this is the real test for NOP. Bravo gets a knock. Knocks down UU-33. Uh-oh, Bravo takes a taste of his own medicine. This time it's 99B. Oh wow, he gets two, not just one. And where's Shaggy? He's hugely separated. A Beetle gets 99B and NOP gets eliminated on 7th position. So just 6 teams and a total amount of 19 players are now just alive. Team Epic will keep on holding their position. Well, they have a magnificent position inside the circle. And there are higher probabilities of the upcoming shift of the circle to keep on favoring them. So they don't have to move much. They can keep on holding their position. STG Esports. They started off their journey with just 3 players. They lost flank early. Ellis and Faker carried this team throughout the game. Stage 4 is about to begin, and the pace of the game has slowed down really very much. MGM Esports will be favored by the circle. It's easy to breeze the circle as there are less amount of teams present inside this game now. 404 Error might fight Team Epic. Epic wouldn't really allow Team 404 Error to cross the bridge which they are expecting to cross. But if 404 Error just, stretches out their rotation and moves around the circle from the east, from the west, extreme west, I mean, that could be a good rotation for Aero 404 without facing a casualty. They might breach the circle. And yes, they're doing the same thing. They're going from the east of Jojopo Big City. It's not a very tough job for Aero now to enter the circle. They might even keep the circle of Team Epic, because they moved so quickly. Team Epic hasn't even started the rotation yet. Easily, Aero 404 can block the circle of Team Epic. Easy 3 frags that might become for Team Aero 404. STG's Ellis gets knocked down. Faker. Is there a possibility of him saving his teammate? Sandrick that was. Be knocking down Ellis and be finishing him out. Flaky will be caught. The question is by whom he has been caught. Maybe that is Team RS. And that is a huge range spray dealt by Team RS. Faker is trying to escape. What is STG Esports playing for? They're not even in contention. Faker is trying to live, is trying to survive to the very end. There's no intent of Faker fighting. We haven't seen any intent from Faker to fight. Capazino gets Fleeke. Fight is slipping out of Team ARG's hands. Fleeke is continuously getting knocked out. He is not getting the rev as well. He's not getting any second chances. Sandra gets on his face. Team Epic Esports bring more pressure on Team ARG's B74. Faker is out. Sandrick, he's knocked out. B74 is the final player surviving. Elise gets knocked out. A ray of hope for B74 maybe. As soon as the Sage 5 initiates, it's going to be bothering for B74 because damage is going to be overwhelming. He has to move. And yeah, the blue zone damage has already begun. Banksy takes a hold and he checks out B74. Good game awareness by B74. Checks out a spray on Aero 404 as well. Banksy especially. There's a whole other thing that he didn't connect. But where is he gonna hide? Because he's all alone. He has to save himself from these demons. 4-player strong teams. And for that, he needs to get a hiding spot for himself. MGM Esports had got a explosive start in the Saranga game, but after that they've slowed down the pace of the game so much. T gets taken down, and MGM Esports, they'll keep on running, they'll keep on defending, but I feel like this is time for MGM Esports to go out guns blazing and fight their opponents. Stage 5 moves for Northwestern. Faker finds a spot on the western edge. Just a squad house. That too is half out of the circle. And Team RS has felt the presence of Faker. And they want to make it painful for him maybe. They haven't completely closed in. They just want the blue zone to first damage Faker. But at this point I've understood that Team RS has no clue about Faker's position. They're focusing on Aero 404. Arcula bangs a dual ping. 34 gets eliminated by U33. Aero 404 loses another frag. Ryuga and Papi might get eliminated by Team Roska. Ryuga gives up. Papi will give up too. Yep. Bangsy and Arcula is the duel surviving. And I feel like Team Roska is going to put in their final lane of the coffin too against Team Aero 404, and they're going to win this fight. Arcula in some smoke. Connected really well, but it won't be enough. 404 Aero gets eliminated on 5th position. Team Roska has done really very well in this final game. 10 eliminations. That's a big number. 10 eliminations, keeping all their 4 players alive. This is all you need in the end circle. Faker stabs U33 in his back. It's not going to be concerning for Team RS. They still have 3 players playing. MGM Esports could be a concern. Team Epic on the other side of the circle will keep on surviving. And 33 will get an easy rev. Well, Faker is making this fight more intense by putting in those grenades. And 33 will be flushed out. And this is a problem eventually for Team RS. They wanted to keep the numbers advantage, but after facing this casualty, that will be snatched out from their hands by Faker. And finally, Faker takes a taste of his own medicine. Luxus eliminates him. There are no friends in this game. And HTG Esports is out on foot. 7 aliens, not 8. 7 aliens for MGM. 3 teams, 6 players alive. 2v3 fight against Team RS. Epic Esports will keep on surviving on the other edge of the circle. But yeah, definitely. Casino has to enter the circle. He has to breach. He has to move in. He has the vehicles. That is a big concern. How is he going to move? But if he moves too much, definitely he'll find an angle on Team MGM. And here he goes. Down goes 20. Luxus is the final player surviving. And this is a perfect opportunity for Team RS. If they've read the finish feed carefully, this is their moment to strike. MGM Esports, very passive. Luxus will be put down by Team RS. And they know where the final player is actually hiding. Cafezino enters the circle. He's right on the edge. Team Epic managed to get 9 eliminations in this final game. Good way to finish off the grand finals, at least finishing off the final game on a positive note. A 1v3 scenario, both the teams are out of the circle. Apaito stepped out and open and gets knocked out. Grenade was right on target and it is all over. Winner chicken dinner for Team Roska, as I said. Always Team Rosca, even if they don't perform throughout the tournament, just in the final game, they somehow manage to get winner chicken dinner. Good amount of eliminations they've got. 12 elims and a winner chicken dinner for Team Rosca. And that is surely going to bring in a lot of positivity for Team Rosca. And that's the end, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys have enjoyed. And if yes, make sure to hit that like and the subscribe button. I'm Silas signing off. It was great to entertain you all as a caster. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If yes, just keep on supporting. We'll be meeting in the next tournament. Till then, bye bye, good night, and take care.